Let's see what happens. Nothing's happening right now.
Dun dun dun. Didn't we say it last time and things were happening? I feel like we should be talking just in case.
I'm looking at it. Nothing's happening right now.
Probably because I set some of it up, but
Hold
Jay
on.
did check it.
Yeah.
If I did it correctly, it was a lot easier than I expected.
All right. All right. Right.
All right, all right, all
Give
right.
me
Oh, I
like
gotta
2 seconds.
beer.
Hold on.
Okie dokes. I'm gonna mute it and yell at my kids real quick.
Okay. Everybody who's maybe tuning in, give us like 2 seconds just to make sure that everything is okay. Hops News is live. We're live. That's fun. So 2 seconds.
I'm done yelling at my children.
You're never done yelling at children.
Oh, I can still hear them with the door shut. Lovely.
When
That's fair.
I don't see it pushing to Facebook yet.
That usually takes a minute. We can just BS for a second. I feel like, everyone is like, oh, mom, why are you being so crazy? Because I told you something 17 times and you didn't
Oh
listen and
my
you only
God,
listen when
right?
I yell.
Like,
It's not my fault. I like the gentle parenting videos where like parents really try and then like the kids are not listening and finally they're like, just get your shoes on.
well, okay. So
Jeez,
anybody
mom,
listening, like the
okay.
lead up into doing anything is like you got to get the kids situated, right? We're getting the kids situated. Kids situated. I got one kid watching fucking Gabby Cat in my room, and the other kid was asleep on the couch, but he's awake now. Whatever. But the thing is, it's like I shouldn't have to tell you 45 times to do something. Like that's just the
And it
story of
seems
my
like
life. I hate repeating
even when
myself.
they're older, I know. I'm annoying
Gah.
myself. What kills me is like when I have to yell at the 19-year-old. It's like, where did I go wrong? I failed you at some point if I'm still doing this.
You're 19. I shouldn't be yelling at you. All right.
I mean, I don't yell at
Anyways,
her. More just
we're
clean your
live. Hey,
dishes.
Patrick. Hey, as you listen to us bitch about our
This is why
kids,
we
give me two
drink.
seconds. Let me share it
Hops
to some.
News brought to you by terrible parents. All right. Well, shall I go ahead and say my beer that
Well,
I'm
hold on.
drinking here?
There's an introduction. You want to
Oh,
kick us off with an
sorry.
introduction? Who are we? What are we doing here?
Hey, we are Hops News. We got Matt and I here tonight because Jay is busy actually working in the industry, and we're just busy talking about the industry. So I am Lauren, and I have a delicious beer here with me. If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, chime in anytime you want. We check the comments sporadically. The
We
comments seem to
do.
disappear on Twitter, so I never follow the comments on Twitter. It's like they're there and then they vanish. So I don't know how that works. But yeah, let us know what you're drinking on this fine Thursday afternoon. So after we talk about our beers, we have some beer news segments we're going to talk about a bit and just, yeah, talk about beer and drink beer.
C'est comme ça. All right. Yeah, we are talking beer. Sorry, we're here. We're here. I had to make sure we shared. Lauren took over duties. She had to pop in and be like, "This is who we are. That's what we're about." And yes, Patrick, be glad you don't have kids right now because everything leading into this is just us yelling at our kids like, "Guys, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. We're trying to go live. Are we live? I don't know." So, but we are live, everybody. And my beer tonight is actually I'm drinking some beers from back home to kind of get ready for my beer adventures next month. But this is from Austin Street Brewing, original Maine ale. Excuse me, it's a pale ale from Austin Street Brewery. Like I said, out of Portland, Maine, just 5%. So it's a really easy drinker. But Maine's original state flag features the pine tree and the North Star, symbols of perseverance and independence, which inspired us to create this pale ale that's proudly made in Maine using all Maine ingredients. Like I said, it's when you think of Portland, Maine, it's a pretty slept on brewery. If you want to check out, that's kind of what it's looking like. And everyone thinks of Bissell Brothers and Allagash and Shipyard and that stuff up there in Maine, but Austin Street's
It's
severely
all
slept on, so you
amazing.
should definitely pop in there and check that out. Like though, we are going to be talking some beer news, so there's some exciting things happening to include. Next week is Destination Beer up in McCall. If you're in Idaho, there's a lot of cool things going on. A lot of anniversary parties happening this coming weekend that I'm going to talk about. And so, yeah, we weren't able to be live last week, so I apologize to everybody. It's a little harder. Tonight you're only getting us because we're both seeing Ant Man tomorrow, so we can't see Ant Man tonight. We're
It's
getting it tomorrow, so
true.
that's the reason why we're here today. Is Ant Man is tomorrow, but consider yourselves blessed.
Um, yeah, it was the first time in a while that I didn't get to see it the day before, but I have
Yeah.
tickets for 11:30 in the morning.
Ooh, I wish. So I'll be home with the kids And I thought about like taking them, but Carrie and I are going, so Carrie and I will go and enjoy it tomorrow night.
It's
We're
a
gonna go
different
see it at
experience with
eight
kids.
thirty at night. So I gotta wait till 8:30 at night. Ugh, I don't know how. I gotta pound coffee because I'll be asleep, but
It's
it's
all
worth it,
not
right?
even 8:30 right now here. Yes, it is definitely worth it. Yeah, my 10-year-old, she was like, I asked her, I go, did you see either of the other Ant-Man movies? No. Okay, done. Conversation over. You don't deserve to go to this one then.
You
So that makes it
know,
easier because I can go while she's at school.
I don't know that the 7-year-old has either, but he's been very interested. Like he's been watching all the Marvel movies lately, and getting into everything. So maybe I don't know if he's watched Ant-Man 1 yet or not. He might have watched 2, but I don't know yet. That's a good point. She doesn't deserve to go. How dare you sit where he sit? Also,
Well,
Patrick,
she'll ask
that beer
questions too.
sounds good. That beer sounds good. Zach's Mexican Donut
Mm.
Stout from Single Speed Brewing. Good beer, man.
Mexican stouts are they usually have peppers in them. Does it have peppers? I bet it
Probably.
does, and it's
I bet it does. I
delicious.
bet you it's not good anymore. Gross. Bleh, bleh, bleh.
Sounds delicious. I'm drinking a beer from you.
Oh, you are. Which one did you choose tonight?
I went with the West Coast IPA from White Dog, which is actually a previous guest on this show back when we couldn't leave our houses.
Yes,
Did you knock something over?
I did. My phone fell. Sorry.
Dun dun
But yeah,
dun.
no, White Dog, wicked good. So I typically there's a beer fest in my town every August, and I've poured beer with Dan, one of their co-owners, every year, and so it's kind of like a thing we look forward to. And then he also has my number to be like, hey, do you want to come pour beer for us on any time that they actually need it? So sometimes I'm out there pouring beer with them. But White Dog is a wicked good brewery. They have two locations, one in Caldwell, Idaho, in Indian Creek Plaza, and then one right downtown in Boise, which that spot has a really good food. Like it's a smokehouse, like a smoke trailer. Oh man, really, really good food. It's right up there on the main drag,
That sounds good.
and they do trivia Wednesday nights at 6:30, and I think they do them sometimes on Saturdays as well. And yeah, really good brewery. A lot of great breweries. Some of the things I'm gonna miss about this place are definitely the breweries, which I
Are
went
you
to one this
starting to
past
get a
Saturday.
little? Are you getting a
Yeah.
little like
Uh,
sad about it?
Not really because I don't know where I'm going. So it's like doesn't feel like we're actually going anywhere because I don't even know where we're moving to yet, which is just anxiety inducing, I think more than anything.
Right.
And it is kind of sad though because like last Friday I met up with Stacy, the owner and founder of Boise Beer Buddies, and I hung out with her and then Jeff, the owner of Blue Pit Brewing down, and we were at Blue Pit Brewing actually on Friday, which is the brewery 2 minutes from my house. I don't go there enough. But Jeff, really great guy,
Mm.
and we were just sitting there drinking some beers and chatting. I was like, man, that's gonna kind of suck because I'm gonna have to like get to know a whole new beer scene. You know, like you kind of make
Yeah.
friends, you get yourself knowing like the local beer scene and making friends in general, and then you got to leave, and so it kind of sucks that start
It's
all
like starting a
over.
new school. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it my whole life, but it does kind of suck in that aspect that it's a whole new world.
Don't you dare close
I
your
did
eyes.
go
Yeah,
to
but I bet you have
Barbarian
like
though.
lifelong friends all over the world.
Oh yeah, I mean, most of my friends all live all over the place. Like I'm going to a wedding in L.A. and then I'm going to a wedding 2 months after that in Nebraska of all places. And you see, when I go down to Vegas, I've got friends there, and yeah, I mean, the one of the fortunate things is I do have friends everywhere and connections. I don't know that I'll ever find myself back in Idaho again, but you never know. Life is
I
weird.
mean, I've never been there.
I'm telling you, come. You got to swing through for like a day before I leave, because then nobody's ever gonna come here
Now and
ever
you're
again.
leaving.
Even Ian's swinging through this summer.
Yeah, he keeps talking about that road trip.
Yeah,
But
even Ian's
yeah.
coming through, and Tracy came through, and
Yeah, it's
we're
true.
just waiting on Erica to come through, and you to come through, and then Jess to come through, and the whole crew's come through
There you
because
go.
everybody would
right,
have
right
just
as you
drove through
leave,
it.
we'll all head up Idaho.
But yeah, no, I I
Yeah.
uh, I did go to some like wineries, and I went to Barbarian Brewing on Saturday for Carrie's birthday, so we hit up some wineries, and one of the like I know this is a beer show, right? But one thing I really love is wine. And one thing that Idaho really has that's really good is wine. And there was like three wineries, and it was next to the new location for Barbarian Brewing too. So we went to those wineries. Really great, really good food, and it's right there on the river, so you can just like sit there next to the river and drink wine and drink beer. And Barbarian has this really good sour right now. It's a strawberry sour, but it was aged in tequila barrels, and oh man, It was exquisite.
Ooh.
And I love tequila anyways and margaritas. So for me, I was in heaven. It was delicious.
Mm.
But I got, yeah, oof,
I love barrel aged stuff.
drank a lot Saturday night.
I don't even remember what I did this weekend. Oh, it was the Super Bowl.
It was the Super Bowl. It was the Super Bowl. Surprisingly, I didn't drink a single beer on Sunday.
Really, I drank Sunday and I drank Saturday and I drank Friday and I feel like there was reasons for all of them and I don't remember. Yeah, it's almost like alcohol
It
affects
was
your
the weekend.
memory.
Well, I was too hungover to drink on
Oh, I
Sunday.
know. So Friday we went to Deadwood's for dinner and it was just
Mm.
us and Ian and his family and it was just, we had the kids with us and we were just eating dinner. And I look over and Brielle's teacher is at the next table and I felt so bad. I'm like, the last thing this guy wants to see is his students. So that was fun.
You're
Oh,
like,
and then I did a lot of fun
hey.
stuff this week. And so if there's any women listening who are into beer, there are Girls Pint Out chapters all over the
Mm.
country. I think there's even some in Europe as well. And so I'm one of the heads for Central Florida. It's me and two other girls. We actually did that Brewery Travels podcast when we talked about the beer in Orlando. And one of the girls works at Oviedo Brewing. And so we held a bottle shop at Design Build Brewing, which is actually still run out of Jenny, who was on here last March. They have the whole brewery in her garage. It's a gorgeous setup. They've done stuff for festivals. They've done collabs with Ellipsis. Everything they have made is phenomenal. And so we had this bottle share at her house, but she also has two giant kegerators in her living room with the beer that they've brewed. And so they
Ooh.
had like a pumpkin that was delicious. They had this banana chocolate stout that was like 10,
A
and I was
banana.
driving, so I could
Wow.
only drink like a teeny bit of it, but it was so good. It was 10.5%. And like the other guy who brews with them, he showed up towards the end and he's like, "Did you get the bananas? Did you get the chocolate?" I'm like, it just think of a chocolate covered banana beer. And that's what it was. It was
Ooh.
phenomenal.
You know, I meant to make some
So
banana bread
design,
today.
build, brewing. Oh,
Random.
I love banana bread.
Sorry, that just randomly reminded me. I was like, oh yeah, I meant to buy stuff to make banana bread today.
Would pair
Oh,
amazing with this. Or put some chocolate chips in that banana bread and then pair it
oof.
with this. I mean, that's what it was. It was that and a glass. It was so good. And
Ooh.
then we went to an amazing Miami Heat game in
You
Orlando
did. That's
where
right.
the Heat
That's right. I
won
forgot
in
we were
the
texting.
overtime. See, I
Yes.
did a lot of fun things this
See,
week and
I
I
knew
just
you
couldn't
went to the
remember
Heat
any of
game too
them.
because we were texting about something because I almost have Carrie. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We're gonna go somewhere this summer, and yeah, I totally forgot that you were at the Heat game, even though you were like, I'm at the Heat game.
Yeah, that
I
was a fun
luckily
game.
wasn't driving this weekend, and neither was Carrie. We got a hotel, so which is
But by
nice.
Saturday night, Josh was driving.
Oh yes. Well, I mean, it's always nice because we always wanted. Every time we go out to Boise, it's like one of us has to stay sober, and then this weekend both of us could just not stay sober because we got a hotel because our friend took our kids. So that
Well,
was super nice.
Josh got Dippin' Dots and I got a highlight.
You
So
did.
he
You
was happy
did.
with his Dippin' Dots.
Who no
He
is
doesn't
anybody
always need
truly
beer.
happy with Dippin' Dots? Are they though?
It was his first time. He seemed to like it.
Really interesting. First time having Dippin' Dots. Really? Okay.
And then a stranger bought my beer because it was no cash allowed. And Josh was like, "Oh, just give me your cash and I'll buy the beer with my card." And the guy gave him all the cash. So that was nice.
All
So
right.
bring your cards to the Miami Amway, or not Miami Amway, to the Amway Arena. So
Whatever that
shall we
place
dive into
is.
some news now that we've
Yeah, we
bullshitted
should.
enough?
We should dive
Well,
into
because it's
news.
obviously the Orlando Magic Arena, but
Yeah,
I
no one
only go when they're
cares.
playing the Heat.
Well, I bet you tickets are like $5
March
too to
11th,
go
I'll be
there,
at the
right?
next Heat game there.
Tickets are probably dirt cheap, I imagine.
Are you kidding? It was 130 for two
What?
nosebleeds.
To the Orlando Magic, they suck.
Yes.
The Magic are one of the
Yeah, but they
worst
were playing
teams in the
Miami.
league.
And when they
Oh,
I'm aware, but when they play Miami, you have
oh.
so many people from South Florida,
Hey,
like myself,
Micah.
that have moved to Orlando. So you get a ton of fans from Miami that go to the games. It's like when you go to a freaking Marlins and Yankees game, half the stadium's New York. So it's like
Oh,
whether
that's
they're good
fair.
or not, you got a ton of fans that live in the area that are going to
That's
go to
like
the
Tampa
game.
Bay games,
And so
Sox,
Josh,
yeah.
yeah, so for Valentine's, Josh actually went ahead and got me
Oh, what
tickets
a
to
guy.
the next one.
What a
Well, last year
guy.
for my anniversary, he got me a new Wade jersey and tickets to a game, and I was like, I'll be in Tortuga that weekend. So he took his dad to our anniversary basketball game.
Dang, Josh, you could have hit me up. I would have went with you.
You're gonna fly down to go to a Miami Heat Orlando game?
Fly down just for that game.
No, like regulation season, not even
Yeah, why
playoffs.
not? Why not? I need to go to Disney, but yeah, let's dive into some
Well,
news. We
come
got some
March
news.
11th.
We do have a lot of beer news, and if March wasn't so packed already, between I'm still working on, we got this little press pass here to Emerald City Comic Con,
Oh, it's
and
great.
still that's in a couple weeks. Massachusetts is in a couple weeks. That's in a month. Comes before you know it. And yeah, March is also just busy in general. But man, I would love to get there. And anyways, let's talk some news. So I do want to talk about some events coming up this weekend in the Boise area since we talked about it. So next weekend, like I said, is Destination Beer in McCall, Idaho. This is put on by Idaho Brewers United every single year. It's great. It's right on the Payette Lake. It's a little cold, obviously, but there are a ton of breweries. So we have Alliteration Ales, Blue Pit, Boise Brewing, Bombastic Brewing, Broken Horn, Coulter's Creek, Edge, Grand Teton, Idlewild, Loose Screw, Lost Grove, Mad Swede, Merriweather Cider Company, McDuff's Brewing Company, Moscow Brewing Company, Mother Earth, Payette, Salmon River, Spring Creek Brewing, Tricksters Brewing out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I want to go there.
It's a fun
Wallace
name.
Brewing, Western Collective, White Dog, and Woodland Empire is actually going to be there. So that's up in
Hey.
McCall. It's a lot of people like a lot of the brewers are getting Airbnbs together, and they're gonna be pouring beer all weekend and drinking beer all weekend, and it sounds like a really great time. I kind of wish I was going. This is my last chance to go, but unfortunately I can't, and it is what it is. But also some things happening in the Boise area for this coming soon. We have 3 years at Good Apple Tap House. They're celebrating their 3-year anniversary. They're a really good tap house, has food and music and live events. Great Basin Brewing out of Reno, Nevada, actually is going to be having a Mardi Gras party on February 18th. That's going to be up here. And then Merriweather Cider Company celebrating 7 years on Saturday, February 18th as well. And Boise Fermentation Company, which is also New Colony Brewing, celebrating 3 years anniversary on the 18th of February. So a lot of things coming up on Saturday as far as events to do in Boise. So if you're in Boise for whatever reason, hit them up. That's what I got for news on the Boise surrounding
I happen
immediate
to be in
local
Boise.
news. Yeah, come on up. We'll go get wasted. Make Harry drive us.
So if you're in the Czech Republic, they're about to have their largest craft beer festival called Pratsky Festival Piva 2023. It's taking place March 31st to April 1st at the Prague Trans Inn. I don't know why I put all this. Anyways, the only reason I posted it because I just love seeing all these different beer festivals all around the world. This one's going to have over 50 breweries, including 26 international ones from 18 different countries.
Oh,
So what a fun thing! Like if you're like doing some traveling, like, especially international, to get to go to an international beer fest, I think that's something like never even crossed my mind other than like Oktoberfest.
oh yeah.
So yeah, next time you're traveling, look up the local beer fests because you never know when there might be one.
Especially in Europe, like hit some up there. Why not? You're once in a lifetime chances out there. Who knows? Well,
And we got a little more international news
we
too.
do. The fight against Thailand's draconian booze laws continues next month when a community of brewers gather for what's billed as Thailand's biggest craft beer event ever. It's it taking place in Bangkok and it's hosting its biggest craft beer event ever, which is kind of cool. And it's taking place. It's by Coconuts Bangkok, which is kind of a funny name. I don't know why. Coconuts, haha. Uh, Anyways, the inaugural Beer People
Ah, I see
Festival
what you did
will
there.
run March 11th and 12th inside the Street Rachada shopping mall, where more than 200 labels will be shown off by brewers from throughout the country. Among the 400 expected flavors are barrel aged mango papaya salad, tom yum soup, coconut and coffee stout, and more. And apart from craft beer, people can also expect to taste over 30 locally made liquors, such as Thai whiskey, rice whiskey, and sato, which is a Thai rice wine. And with dozens of brewers participating, Thanakorn said that his network grew significantly during COVID-19 when the industry suffered from a booze ban and drinking restrictions. He said these growing allies are necessary in changing the country. Hopes were dashed last year when a bill to all but end the ban on homebrewing was voted down in Parliament. So it's going to be pretty much the biggest thing. It's going. He's been looking and studying the Oktoberfest in Germany, and he hopes that this event will kind of be a Kickstarter for Thai-made beers and liquors to become better known on the world stage. and he wants people in the next 5 years to hopefully engage all over Southeast Asia and hopefully expand to all over the world, kind of bringing people in. And Thai's craft beer potential is held back by their lack of government support. Pretty cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, because so many places you don't think of beer when you think of them. So it's, I think say that about Florida all the time. Like nobody thinks, oh, Florida must have good beer, but we have some amazing beer. I feel like we're slowly getting on the map. So Thailand trying to do the same thing.
Right on.
So the Brewers Association has said that the number of federal permits issued to craft brewers last year was the smallest since 2013.
Ooh.
It estimates this year will see the fewest new craft breweries in over a decade. The article then goes on to say from the chief economist of the Brewers Association that I don't know that we've reached peak craft yet since we're still seeing growth in other small beverage alcohol producers. But I think we're seeing a point where breweries really have to work to differentiate. And I think I think Jay says that somewhat regularly.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you're going to start to see like you got to really stand out to compete in this, niche world that we all live in
Oh
because
yeah.
it's
I'm
bigger than we think it is, but I think it's also smaller than we think it is. That
agreed.
makes
Well,
any sense.
it does. And then like people are slowing down anyways drinking, it seems like. And so they're if you're just kind of doing something bland, what makes your brewery stand out? Like why would people go to your brewery? Which again, I completely understand. And in this economy, it's tough.
Mhm.
And so you got to do
Especially
things
when
to
the beer's
stand
getting
out.
so expensive.
Yeah, and like the cost of beer is expensive, the cost to make beer is expensive, the cost to be alive is expensive at that. Jesus.
The cost to die is expensive
Look,
too.
you can't even afford to
Price
die.
has
So
been
like what
raw
are we
lately,
doing?
right?
Like just what are we doing? Can you can't afford to live, you can't afford to die. Just go ahead and like can I burst into flames and just poof? Can I do that? Is that an option? How much does
I
that
mean,
cost?
I think it depends on where you go because your family might end up with a damage fee depending on how
That's
that
all.
worked out.
I do it out in Idaho in the middle of summer. I'll start a damn wildfire, and then they're stuck paying the government.
Right.
Speaking of the road
They
to
have
the
to rebuild the
base,
city.
somebody hit two horses the other day, and that's like thousands of dollars you have to pay if you hit a cow or horses or anything on this free range roads. You have to pay like thousands of dollars in fines. It's like a federal offense.
Wow. Oh, they were free range horses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Wow.
know if those ones are free range, but like the cows get on the road and people hit them, and they have to pay like
Mm-hmm.
thousands of dollars. It's crazy because yeah,
Oy,
it's wild, but
gotta be careful. It's wild, literally. Well, we have where we live, like the side street. There's a guy with some horses, and we see the guy riding the horse regularly. Like we were on 50, which is a big road that goes all the way through downtown and everything. And there's just a guy. He's got the little walk and the pedestrian thing on his horse, just going along.
yeah, it is. There's like sheep farms in town and all that stuff, and good times, good times. Anyways, let's get back into some more beer news. We have a special beer collaboration between Young Lion Brewing Company and the New York State Brewers Association, which is hoping to raise awareness about Willow, a domestic violence center in Rochester, New York that does so much for women in crisis. This is going to be a tangerine cream ale called Raise Up. It'll be launched on International Women's Day, March 8th, at Tops and Wegmans across Western New York and Central New York. If you or someone you know lives in that area and they need help, call 585-222-SAFE, and Willow, this really cool center, can actually help out.
Definitely call, even if you just
Yeah.
suspect. Honestly, you never know. Um, Actually, I want to jump ahead to another piece of news. I'm going to go out of order just to confuse us, and then have to backtrack later.
Whoa.
So I get my Google alerts, which is where we get all this news from for the most part, other than stuff we see on social media. And so I got a Google alert for Mobcraft Brewing, which took me by surprise because I was surprised I didn't see it beforehand on their social
Oh
media.
yeah.
Um, and now I'm not gonna be able to find it.
Well, there was just
So they're doing something. Actually, I can remember it. They're doing something in their area with a like task force for hunger or something. So they're teaming up and they did it properly. Because if anybody who's heard about Mobcraft or saw them on our show or even didn't or saw them elsewhere, you know that they vote on different beers. People submit beers and then people vote with their wallets. So they have to commit to buy it to make it
yeah.
win. And they did a wheat beer uh, suggestion, and this one actually won. And so they were doing wheat because there's wheat in the
Well,
logo
wheat.
of their thing, and so now every dollar for that beer that's sold in the tap room is going to this thing, which I'm going to look for in a minute.
Yeah, well, speaking of Mobcraft, actually, there was a post this week by Henry that basically there was their food distributor for their Denver location. Something went down and something they didn't like uphold their end of the deal or bar or something happened with them, and so they immediately
It
pulled
seemed like they
them.
weren't the best people, it sounded like.
Yeah, there was something shady going on with their food distributor, and so
Distributor.
distributor. And so Henry, good on him. Like they recognized it as soon as they recognized it, they pulled the plug. They were like, "Hey, we're sorry. We don't intend to be shady in any sort of way." And they're got their own kitchen up and running, and nothing missed a beat over at their Denver location. So Mobcroft
Nice.
and Henry are great people. They've always been kind to us, and it's good seeing them kind of back their talk, of taking care of the people, so to speak.
Yeah. It was Mobcraft and Hunger Task Force.
Ooh, that's
So if you're in the area or you see this beer, because yeah, go get it.
that's what
And you're
Patrick just said.
contributing to
Mobcraft
feeding
is
people.
releasing a beer that proceeds will be donated to the Hunger Task Force. Yeah, see?
There you go. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
That's
Good
awesome.
day, sir. What I do declare, thank you.
You say
I
good
don't know
day,
what
sir, and I want to say good afternoon, but that's not, I don't mean good afternoon.
that. What did you say to me? Good afternoon.
All right.
You want to know what's
Oh, you already
crazy?
said
You
that
want a
news.
good afternoon? I have some good afternoon news.
Okay.
A brewery is making beer from airport AC condensation. How do you like
I
that?
mean,
Well,
with all of this stuff, I'm always like, ugh, but every sip of water we have,
there are animals and fish peeing in our water streams.
well, not even, what don't they say, like every sip of water you have, like, was filtrated through like a dinosaur at one point? Like, there's
That's a
only
good
so much
point.
water. And
That's a
so
good point.
it's
The water
always just
wars are
going through
coming
all of us.
soon. Well, East Village Brewing Company collected all of the AC runoff from the airport and gave it a good old purification. They shook it up real good in their purifiers, and voila!
Just
Hoppy
environmentally
travels and
friendly.
pre-flight pills were born, which you can find it at San Diego's airport, which San Diego means whale's vagina.
What? San Diego means whale's vagina?
No, haven't you seen Anchorman?
What did you say? Oh my God.
Anchorman?
I haven't seen Anchorman
San
in
Diego
forever.
means whale's
So
vagina.
okay. You know what? I'm
No.
gonna just stay classy and not follow this.
No, but yeah, so that's interesting.
We're serious
I want
about
to try
that?
this. I would try this. AC, like, give me your condensation and I will gladly drink it.
I mean, in high school you made bongs out of anything, so now they're making
I mean,
beer out of
that's true.
anything.
You
This
got to
this
get
is that
creative.
generation. The ones that were like, we don't have a pipe, who has an apple?
No,
Who
this
has
is
a soda
good.
bottle?
This is good because
Like
the water
they're
wars,
now
I'm telling you.
making beer
That's true.
and they're getting creative.
Somebody's got to
All
do
right.
it.
So I'm gonna take it back to Orlando. Ivanhoe Brewing, which we've also had on this show, and I'm pretty sure if you're in the Hops News family, you've probably gotten at least one of their beers before. They are like all over the place, teaming up with all these sports teams. They're
Yeah, I
at
saw
Disney
this.
festivals consistently now. Like they are putting their mark on the map. They're doing amazing. And now I hadn't even heard of this. Apparently, we have an XFL football team now.
Yes, you do.
Um,
First season's back
it's
this year.
called yeah. So I guess this is their first year they're in Orlando. And Ivanhoe is the brand new sponsor. Well, not sponsor for them, but they have a team beer. So they teamed up to make a Florida ale. It's an easy drinking Florida ale.
Oh,
So
that
if you're going to
sounds
any of those games
good.
at Camping World Stadium, stop by Broken Strings first because they're walking distance to Camping World Stadium, and then you can get Ivanhoe beer at the games. I would assume.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. I hope these leagues last. So you have the UCFL or USFL or whatever the hell it's called now. That's kicking off here soon, and then the XFL, which is actually partially owned by Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and that's what that league
What?
is. Yeah, with different rules than your regular NFL. And if anybody remembers the XFL back when you were growing up, owned by WWE and Vince McMahon, yeah, and interesting stuff. There's people there's names was like he hate me. I don't know. It was wild. It was like wrestling on the football field is what it was.
I wish they would do something with the Magic. Like I have gotten an Ivanhoe Pilsner
It probably
at the
costs a
Magic game before. I
lot of
didn't.
money.
But here's what's super frustrating. And honestly, I'm fine with Highlight. I like Highlight. It's a great go-to. I still like it. Uh There is a brewery attached to Amway Arena. Big Storm Brewing is literally
Oh,
attached,
really?
and you can go in and out of the brewery to the game, but you can't get a beer and bring it out. So you literally can be in it's in the building. So
Interesting.
you can, but there's also an outdoor entrance. So you have to scan your ticket when you leave the brewery to go directly into Amway, and vice versa. And like you can go through security, be in the arena, and then go to the brewery. Like it's literally part of it, but you can't get a beer and take it out,
Huh.
which drives
Well,
me a little nuts.
this leads into the
I'm
next bit
sure
of news,
there's
though.
contract and laws and
Speaking of being
bullshit.
able to sell beer and take it out, well, Illinois is working on a bill to let breweries directly sell to consumers like wine has gotten to be able to do for the last 15 years. Well, that's hopefully beer laws are catching up soon, which the same situation is going on in Texas, where wine has also been allowed to direct sell for years. In Texas, it wasn't until 2013 that pints could even be sold in tap rooms because Texas is Texas. And it wasn't until 2019 that to go beer could actually be bought from breweries. And Family Business was
Can't
actually
you
posting
drink and
about
drive in
this.
Texas? Oh,
There are literally no laws in Texas, which is crazy. There are zero laws
except
in
ones
Texas,
about breweries.
except for breweries can't sell beer and to go until 2019. That's
Yeah, do you remember that? I think we talked about it
so
on the podcast.
it blows my mind. The law, like, I don't want to get
It
into
was
it.
like in growlers and stuff. We didn't have 64-ounce growlers till a few years ago.
Well,
Um,
it's
it's
just like
probably been longer than I think now, but my first growler was from Funky Buddha, and it was like the week that we got it. Because I
yeah.
remember it was like 64 ounces of freedom. It was probably Hop
I
Gun.
don't even know our country sometimes, man. Like, you can go outside right now here in Idaho and go shoot a gun wherever you want, no laws, but you can't ship beer and things like that. It's like, and then you can't buy beer and sell like the Utah laws, and it's Utah. You could have like 17 wives, but you can't buy beer before 11:30, and you can't take beer out past
You
5%.
can
Like
only
it's
have
crazy.
one legal wife. Yeah, the Utah. I think they're working
Well,
on
that's what I'm
changing
saying. Like,
that.
what's going on
Yeah.
here?
For anyone who's not familiar, I know we've talked about it before. When we were in Utah, everywhere I went, they kept pouring me beer out of cans. And obviously, when you go to a brewery, you want draft.
You
And so
couldn't even bring
finally,
your
I
water
asked.
bottle in.
Yeah, they made me check my water bottle at the door. But that's because they wanted to drug it so I could be somebody's fifth wife. They no hate to Utah. We had an amazing time. We met
Utah
amazing
was
people.
awesome. Yes.
But they're like anything over 5% has to come out of a can, and that's just such wasted resources for that brewery. It's just insane. I was going to say something else. I forgot. I'm going to get off my
Well,
pedestal.
all right. Well, for gluten-free people like me, rejoice because if you find yourself in the Bay Area known as San Francisco, hit up Otherwise Brewing, which is known as Beer Beyond Barley. It's a delicious beer made with ancient grains, naturally gluten free. So, their tagline is everybody should get to drink great beer, which is why we started exploring gluten free alternatives to traditional brewing ingredients. Along the way, we discovered a huge spectrum of amazing flavors, and we can't wait to share them with you. So, beer doesn't need gluten, so why use it? We brew exclusively with ingredients that are naturally gluten free so everybody can enjoy their beers. Climate change is affecting agriculture worldwide, and the beer industry is no exception. Our recipes draw upon a wide range of crops, many of which are drought resistant and can be adapted to our changing world. And then, beer is dominated by barley for historical reasons, but there are a lot of flavor reasons to explore other grains. From quinoa to millet to buckwheat and beyond, we bring you a unique
Huh.
and delicious tasting experience.
A
So you can
quinoa beer.
actually
Interesting.
get their beers all over in bars and restaurants and things like that in California. So it looks like all their Fresno is about the only place outside. So Santa Rosa, Sacramento, or not Sacramento,
Santa
Oakland. Like there's a
Rosa.
whole
That's
map that has a ton of places that you can buy their beer, which is pretty cool. So
in Santa Rosa where Russian River is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I want to hit them up and see if we can get them on our show.
That'd be like a whale of a guest.
Yeah.
So yes, I remembered what I was thinking before when you're saying you can shoot a gun anywhere, but you can't do these things with beer. It all comes down to our Constitution. So you have the Second Amendment, so that's applicable to all of the states. But prohibition done fucked us up, obviously, because we
It
gave the rights
did.
to the states, and then some of the states gave the rights to the city and the county and the
We're giving
municipality,
it
and
back to you, the
now
people.
we have now you can drive for 20 minutes and experience multiple different contradictory. beverage laws. So
Hmm.
there you go. That's it. Okay. So a giant new Orange County project promises craft beer, steaks, and swimming, and a swimming
Ooh.
pool. So Modern Times, back before Modern Times closed, they opened up a spot in Anaheim in September 2020. So their timing, of course, wasn't great, and obviously they had some issues with some stuff they were accused of doing that they didn't fully take responsibility for. But this was a 33,000 square foot area called Leisure Town. So these people who own Craft by Smoke and Fire have taken it over, and they intend on doing some big fun things with it. So if you're in the Anaheim area, it's not open yet, but
Interesting.
definitely check them out when they're ready. You need a break from Disneyland? Go lay in the
Need,
pool at this
need a
craft
break from
brewery, I
Disneyland? You're
guess.
high as hell right now.
Sometimes you need breaks.
That's true. That is true. Well, I don't need breaks. But, anyways, did you know that New York City Craft Beer Week kicks off March 1st?
I did. Did you know J. Wakefield Brewing is going to be there?
Oh my goodness! You can in addition to local favorites like Grimm and Finback, there will be some whales showing up in the harbor, such as J. Wakefield and Monkish. That's exquisite. You guys must be lost. What are you doing? Miami, New York City. They're not like party locations, great locations. I don't know. If that's your thing,
What?
if that's your thing, I don't know.
All
Anyways,
right.
March
Well, happy
1st.
birthday, Carl Strauss.
Yes,
They just
March
turned
1st.
34.
Vale Brewing's also going to be there. And Prison City. Prison City. I like the name of that one. But yeah, Vale Brewing's
I
also
haven't
going to
heard of
be
that
there.
one.
And so you're going to be getting Grimm, which will be pouring Gathering, Red Currants, and Peaches en passant franc. Finback is pouring Crispy Nights and Farmhouse B3. And then you're going to have the Vale, Jake Wakefield, Prison City, and Monkish. That seems relatively tame for a beer week in New
Oh, I'm
York
sure
City.
there's got to be a lot more. I just figured they hadn't announced everything.
That's true. But March 1st is like next week.
That's true. But that could have been an article because we haven't recorded in 2 weeks.
That's also true.
So this news is anywhere from the last
Wow,
2 weeks of
thanks
my
for
Google
nothing.
alerts. It's not, you're not hearing it first here, kids. You're hearing it after the fact.
We're
We
amateurs.
never.
Amateurs. Wow.
So Carl Strauss just turned 34, and I think this might be the last piece of our beer news. Bulliet Frontier Whiskey and Stone Brewing have partnered together. Their collaboration kicked off in December of 2022 with the release of a highly exclusive Stone One batch dispatch, Gimme Yule, Gimme Fire, barrel-aged Bock. Oh,
All right.
I do love a good Bock.
Okay.
This
Okay.
limited time offer beer was aged in rye whiskey barrels and sold exclusively online and at Stone Brewing locations. I would love to see like more legit team ups with distilleries and breweries.
Me too. Honestly, there's Warfield Brewing up in Ketchum, Idaho. They are both. They're a brewery and distillery, and their spirits are wicked good. So, oh no. So I just sent a message to the Otherwise Brewing. I have a typo. Oh, stupid me.
The worst.
It's
Unsend.
I put like I'm largely gluten free, but I capitalized GL for some reason, so it looks fucking stupid. So unprofessional.
Well, at least she knows that's a typo and you didn't not understand the difference between your and you are.
That's true. That's true.
I can forgive a legitimate typo, but
Stupid.
if you're an influencer and you have a large audience, you should really understand the difference between then, than, to, you are. Like, come on.
Yeah, honestly though, you really, I mean, yeah, you should. You should. Look, basic. Like, okay. First of all, our phones do 90% of the work for us anymore, right? So half these
Sometimes
spelling
our phones
mistakes,
mess stuff up, though.
they do. And
Like,
my
it
fat
always wants to
fingers and
say
stuff.
wheel rather than well.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll be
sometimes I
saying
mean
well,
well,
and I
iPhone.
get well, wheel. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Anytime I
Stupid.
write Jess, it changes it to he's. Like, I don't ever write he's. Like, he's coming over. I don't know. I'm trying to write Jess.
Who's he? Josh is like, who's he? He's who? He's like, no, I'm trying to say Jess, I promise.
He who remains. Joshua FaceTimed me this morning from a pub in Ireland while drinking a Guinness.
Some guys have all the
So
luck. You know
my
that?
husband is on a business trip to Ireland.
Is he gonna bring back like Lucky Charms? He's gonna bring back anything?
Yeah, he's gonna bring back Lucky Charms, a box of Lucky Charms,
So
and he's
Josh,
gonna
you
bring
bring back
back.
some whatever's at the end of the rainbow, a leprechaun maybe, something.
Yep,
Come on,
only
no,
Shamrock
that's
stuff will he bring back.
God. They're probably gonna
No, I
the
told
second to the
told him because he
last.
asked about beer, and I'm like, honestly, if there's something amazing, sure, but don't bring me back like
Yeah,
anything
don't bring me back
souvenir
Guinness,
wise, because
please.
I want to go one day and get my own souvenirs. Like when my
I
dad was in
agree.
Germany, he's like, "Do you want me to bring you back anything?" And I'm
I have to visit if I happen to go out that way. You'll have a free place to stay, and we can go to Oktoberfest.
that is a bucket
That
list.
would be
To all these
crazy.
things I have so many bucket list things.
Me too. It never stops. And then
Well,
Carrie's like, "You just want and want." And I'm like, "It's because I could die tomorrow, and there's so much to do in this world still. So much to do."
is it so much to do, so little time,
Exactly. There's
or so
just
little time, so much to do? I
regardless.
don't
There's a
remember. What
lot
did
to
Willy
get
Wonka
done in
say?
this life. Okay, I got needs. We
Not
got to
enough
see this
money, not enough
world.
time.
The man is keeping us down with the man. Down. Anyways, this turned into an
Oh,
anti-government
I like it.
podcast, but
Patrick's at Oktoberfest 2024. I like it.
I like where your
That
head's
is
at,
a good
Patrick.
goal.
Worst case, we'll do one in our own backyard. How about that?
He's been Patrick's been he went wasn't he the one that went before he was even 21?
I think so.
I think we talked about it on one of the happy hours,
I think he
like our
was.
after hours zooms and stuff. Yeah, he's like very beer cultured before he was old enough to drink.
Look at that. I love a man who's cultured.
There you go, cowboy.
Oh, geez. Anyways,
So
nah,
that was
it's
a
good
little twang
beers.
in your voice.
A lot of good beers. A lot of good happenings. I really want to make it as you know. I really wish I went out of my way when I was in San Antonio. He says, "Oh, it's not a goal. I'm going." Hey, I respect that.
I like it.
But when I was in San Antonio, went to Austin, I really wish now I went to Family Business because now that I'm watching Supernatural, it's like, damn, I do wish. He says he's never been to Oktoberfest officially. He's been to Germany though. I have too. I've flown through
Ah,
Frankfurt Airport 4 different times on my deployments, and I've had beer in the airport, but I wasn't allowed to leave, so I didn't get to like experience it. Right. So I have been to Germany too, and I've had beer in Germany.
never.
I've just never gotten to like have beer in Germany, if you feel me, which sucks.
I
But
have done
yeah,
neither.
family business. Maybe we could make that a goal for 2024 now that Supernatural's taken over my viewing experiences lately.
Ian
I
and I
can't
talk
believe
about going back regularly.
I would super be down to meet up there somehow, do a proper Austin beer adventure and things because if you haven't been
Yeah.
following our Hops Geek news, we've been doing Supernatural bonus episodes weekly because I've been watching Supernatural. I just finished season 3 last night. And they're always drinking beer on that show and things like that. And I'm always sitting there trying to look like what beer are they drinking? What are they drinking?
Oh, I have too. Yeah. Well, later on, they drink the beer from the brewery makes
Well,
appearances.
yeah. But last night it looked like they're drinking like Sam Adams for a second. I was like, is that Sam Adams? But I don't think it was. It probably
I know
wasn't.
there's a they're in Vancouver, so I think you get Canada beer sometimes.
Right.
Um,
Which would make sense. But yeah,
but I would love to spend a
man.
couple. So for anybody who's going to the area to do beer, Family Business is actually 40 minutes outside of Austin,
Yeah,
so it's
that
in
was a deal
Dripping
breaker.
Springs. But so is Jester King. So Jester King's not far from there. So both of them are not in Austin, but they say they are. It's like
Yeah,
a,
which
because you got to go
stupid.
out there.
Such a trick.
Then we found Acapon Brewing was awesome, and it was in their little downtown Dripping Springs area. Ghost Note is one I would have loved to have gone to. There is a distillery in the area if you're into liquor, and then there's like Hamilton pools and some like natural stuff to visit too. But the issue when we went, it was a summer after a freeze, so these places were like not safe to go to. But I would love to go back and spend a couple nights actually in Dripping Springs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could have
I
spent
only
all day
spent
at
one day
Family
in
Business.
Austin and got to go to Live Oaks. That was really the only part that I got to go to. And yeah, I want to go back and do it proper because I got to do San Antonio proper and got to go to Western Collective and all that. But I really wish that I could have gone to Austin and really did it. But it is what it is, man. Life. We'll get there eventually. However, like I said, if you've been following Hops Geek News, we've been doing a lot of fun things. We have our Mandalorian episode that we're going to record after this. That's going to come out next week. And last week's episode, we have a couple that came out. First one that came out is our Kang Origins
The Conqueror.
episode to get you ready for Ant-Man, which is out now. People have seen it. People are watching it. People are spoiling it.
People are watching it right now.
I know, and I'm not there. It's not fair.
I'm ready
It's
to go to
not
sleep
fair.
so I can wake up.
But yes, go get your Kang Origins on. Listen to our episode. Listen to our sweet, sweet voices. And then we just dropped an episode with Hades from ASAP Imagination. They are a comic book company based out of London who have a lot of cool artists. Lori
London,
was on an
baby.
episode before. She does some great work. Sister Grimm, Babies with Rabies. And we are a part of GIG, which is Global Indie Group, which is basically a website where if you're an artist who wants to find a writer, that's how you can do it. If you're a writer who wants to find an artist, an editor, a podcast to promote your stuff, that's where it's at. And so we're a part of that. And so we talked about that, just brief. And tomorrow I will put up our Supernatural Season 3 wrap-up episode, which we're going to record right after this. And that's basically what we're up to. Hops News, I know we've been irregular, but, you know, we're going to...
We're going to take some Metamucil and get back on track.
As soon as I said it, I was like, yep. But no, we are going to hopefully be getting back on track.
In our diet.
Life's just been kind of hectic, right? I mean, we've
Life's
got things
been
happening.
life.
And so we're trying to do what we can do. And as you see, it's been the two of us. Jay's been busy, and that's just what it is. But if we owe the family some care packages, we owe the family some time, and we want to be able to give you guys some time here soon. So let us know in the family page, which is our Patreon page. If you want to become part of our Patreon, patreon.com/hopsnews. Check that out. Check out what we do. And yeah, we owe you guys some time. So next week, I don't know if we'll be on. We'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, have a really great beer. Drink some more great beer. Visit a brewery. Hang out with some friends. And Lauren, do you have anything else?
Cheers. I don't know. I started this episode the same way I'm ending it, yelling at my children on mute.
Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.